Hey y'all, it's that time again. Yes, it is Thankful Thursday, and I'm so thankful that I am alive, healthy, and well. I first thank God for life, health, and strength. And I am grateful that it is Thursday, which is my Friday, because guess what? I don't have to work tomorrow, but then I do have to work a little bit. Anyways, I'm grateful because I'm yet here, okay? Through it all, stress it all, I'm thankful. So, anyways, I first want to talk about today. I went to go see my therapist, and well, we were doing Zoom. Everybody's like virtual visits, and so yes, I've been going to see therapy for many, many years because guess what? I am in the job of help, so I help people a lot. I'm in the job of helps. Been helping since I was probably born. I don't think I know a time I wasn't helping somebody. Yeah, yeah. But anyways, but being a career, of course, social worker that I am, you really got to keep yourself in tune and in check. And my motto is like, if you are not well, you really can't help nobody else. So I definitely have seen my therapist, and she's the bomb. And so anyway, we were talking about like everybody kind of going through all these emotions and at one time, with COVID-19 and the lockdown, the quarantine, people having loss and people getting sick, and just kind of just even just dealing with the lock-in part and like not being able to do the regular routine of life, right? And so she was like, you know what? Everybody is going through the stages of grief and not even knowing it. I was like, what? Yeah, the stages of grief. I'm like, grief of what? Grief of your old life. Grief of your old, like, what we used to do, our daily routine, our work, our job, whatever, our play, our recreation, all that, right? We're not doing none of that. And everybody is kind of confined pretty much to the house, right? So she's like, we're all going through the grief and loss and we don't even know it. Like it's just it's happening, right? And so you may be like, what's the stages of grief, right? I'm gonna tell you. Glad you asked, right? So the five stages of grief, sometimes I do have a seventh stage, but we're gonna go over the typical, pretty common five stages of grief, right? So the first stage is denial. So just like sometimes when we associate grief with loss and loss with death, when grief is really like kind of mourning anything that you've lost. So it could be something very tangible, something very spiritual or emotional or physical or, but it also is death as well, which is a very common connection that, people make. So let's say like, oh, somebody passed away. Like, oh, no, like you're shocked. Right. So denial, sometimes it's like shock. And then it's like, no, 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 it could be a denial around that. Denial is also like, no, it's not as bad as it is, right? When you're losing something or you've lost something, you kind of deny. So denial is the first stage. And then there's anger. So then it's like, you deny, be like, no, that junk said in, no, I'm mad, like, no. And so we've all kind of been experiencing that. It's like shock over COVID. You think about like COVID, like, oh man, like a lot of shock, a lot of denial. We even heard denial from our own dear number 45. But if you think about it, it was a denial. Oh no, it's not as bad as it is. Oh no, we this is gonna be over in a few weeks. Oh no, it's just gonna be this. And it wasn't, and then we have anger, now people are mad and frustrated and like all of that, right? A lot of emotions around that. Then we have our next stage, which is bargaining. And bargaining is when you feel like, okay, let me do this while I'm doing this, or let me kind of, and I may not be saying it exactly right, but let me kind of barter my feelings in a way of, I'm not gonna be. Let me see if I can find a little bit more better description. So struggling to find meaning, yeah, reaching out to others, telling one story. So you struggle to try to find some reason in it. And you're like, okay, we're inside, we understand why, so so keep repeating that to yourself when you're like, oh yeah, 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 we're inside because we're trying to, flatten the curve. We want to, keep ourselves healthy. We want to give the scientists enough time to do research and blah blah blah, right? So that's the marketing. So that's actually too. It feels a little bit better. You're like, okay, if I know why I'm inside and I kind of feel okay with it, at least I feel a little bit better. So then the next stage, right, is depression, because then you're like, okay. Sadly enough, you're like, okay, I'm used to, I ain't got to, okay, I know why, but then it still sets in and like, but I don't want to be in here. And then your mind gets to wandering about the other things you're sad about and other things you could be doing that you're not doing. And for some single people, you start worrying about, okay, I'm up in here quarantining by myself without a quarantine boo. And I wish I had a man, or I wish I had a moment, and I wish I was married, and I wish I had some kids, or whatever, right? And it goes on, and then you start really feeling bad, right? And it can bring up some feelings of depression, right? And then, so then we got acceptance. So then that's when you just like the final stage is acceptance, right? You're like, okay, we're in here, we're quarantining, we know why, we understand why, we mad about it, but we really can't help it. Sad about other stuff that just whatever, but we can't change that either because we're quarantined, okay? But it's acceptance, right? The last stage is acceptance. So we learn to accept where we are in this moment, where we are in this time, and then we relax in that. And that's really like kind of where we all are going through different stages. We all have gone through them at different kind of points in time, and we all have experienced these emotions around what's going on right now with COVID-19 and the quarantine. So let's all be very understanding of one another. Try to be a little bit patient. We're all some of us are a little irritable or not, or like I said, going through these stages and not really realizing it. Going through it at different points in times than other people and not really realizing it. So, but I want to say another thing. Please understand that it's okay. So it's a natural process that we go through as humans when you lose something. And the grief is about losing the ability to do as you normally would. And then really kind of like really accepting the fact that our life is not going to be the same. Even when the doors open, there's going to be precautions around gatherings. There's going to be precautions, still protections we're going to have to wear. So it's not we're not over with it all. Even as different states governors, state to open the doors of different businesses and different cities and states will begin to open up. Let's remember it's not going to be the same. So as we go through these different stages, let's be empathetic to one another, and even be patient with ourselves. And I say that because I'm like, I have to speak to myself before I speak to y'all. It's like really ministering to myself that I have to be patient with me. Like, it's okay. You're going through these various stages. This is all brand new. It's all brand new. Nobody has it locked down. And so we're managing it. We're going through it. Let's talk about it. I have a therapist. I also got people I check in with. So if you don't have a therapist or a counselor, get one. If not, have your strong friends, the people who you ask for support from, those that are like your spiritual leaders, those your pastors, your ministers. Please speak to those people and get help, get assistance, get advice, get somebody you can vent to. All right, about what you're feeling, and it's okay. We're all going through it, and we're all gonna get through this together. All right, so let's stay strong. I love you. God loves you more. All right, peace.